Imagine walking through the woods and realizing the thing stalking you is taller than a giraffe, faster than a cheetah, and more furious than Mike Tyson on steroids. Imagine looking out over calm water, and the water looks back with rows of teeth. Now, imagine something the size of a truck crawling toward you on 1,000 little legs. Nature used to be a horror movie without jump scares, just instant game over. Today we're talking about the scariest creatures that ever existed. Luckily, they're all extinct. Or at least that's what we hope. Let's start with Arctodus simus, the giant short-faced bear. It weighed more than 1,500 pounds and stood up to 12 feet tall. This thing was a tank. Picture a bear so huge it would make Shaquille O'Neal look like a baby standing next to it. It had long legs built for speed, not just brute strength. Modern bears mostly want to just be left alone, unless you're dumb enough to get between a mother and her cubs. Arctodus felt more like, oh, you exist? Cool, I'll fix that. It bullied other predators off their kills. A bear so dominant it walks up to a pack of wolves and says, mine, and the wolves agree. That's not an animal, that's a demigod. But if you think that was bad, welcome to the real deal. Tyrannosaurus Rex. T-Rex wasn't just a big angry lizard, it was a walking demolition machine. This is the part that movies actually didn't exaggerate enough. Let's start with the head. Massive skull, jaws like industrial machinery, a bite strong enough to crush bones like a potato chip. Now add the body. Huge, yes, but not slow. People like to imagine it lumbering around like a truck with legs. No, this thing could move. You're not jogging away from it, you're not climbing a tree. There is no escape. And those tiny arms everyone jokes about? Yeah, cute. Until you realize they were bigger than your whole body. This thing was massive. It would devour you in a second. Next up, phorus, also known as the terror bird. That's not a nickname, that's the brand. This wasn't a little angry chicken. This was a giant flightless bird with a beak like a battle axe. It didn't need claws like a raptor, it just ran you down and used its head as a weapon. Instead of pecking, it was more like stab, slam, repeat. Imagine an angry ostrich that decided it's done with salads and now into meat. We still have modern birds with that attitude, emus for example, but the terror bird was the apex predator of its time. Slide into the swamp and meet Titanoboa, the great snake. Picture the biggest snake you've ever seen. Now multiply it by 100. It was bigger than that. Titanoboa lived in steamy prehistoric jungles, and it didn't bother with tiny meals. It went after huge prey like crocodiles over 3 meters long. How did it hunt? Simple. It wrapped itself around you and squeezed. Then it swallowed you whole. Slow, patient, confident. That's a different kind of terror. A shark attacks and it's over. Titanoboa made the ending feel personal. Let's talk about an ambush predator that turned life into pain. Smilodon fatalis, the saber-toothed cat. Not a tiger, by the way. Closer to a tanky ambush cat with 2 swords growing out of its face. Here's how this thing worked. It wasn't built for marathon chases. It was built for wait in the bush, launch once, end the fight instantly. Those massive saber teeth weren't for chewing, they were for finishing. Piercing soft targets in the neck. Precise, surgical, brutal. Today's big cats like lions hunt in groups, dragging you down with teamwork. Smilodon felt more like an executioner with fur. Imagine playing hide and seek, where the loser just never gets found again. Now, let's go offshore. Otodus megalodon, the giant shark. If you're scared of great whites now, congratulations. This makes the great white the tiny white. This shark didn't nibble fish, it hunted whales. It bit through bone like crackers. You know how in movies the ocean is calm and then suddenly something pulls a whole animal under in one violent splash? That was normal behavior for this thing. And here's the horrifying part. The ocean is already the scariest place on Earth. It's dark, it's deep, and we can't breathe in it. So, nature looked at this and said, that needs a boss fight. That was Megalodon. You weren't at the top of the food chain, you weren't even on the chart. Let's continue with water monsters. Deinosuchus, the biggest crocodile that ever lived. But it wasn't just a crocodile, it was the crocodile, the blueprint of fear. Modern crocs wait under the surface, slow and silent, that explode upward, grab you, drag you under, and spin you until you stop moving. Deinosuchus was that behavior scaled up. You're a dinosaur getting a drink from the river, minding your own business. And then the river says, "I'm hungry." Land animals thought they ran the world. Deinosuchus was there to remind them, touch the water and you are done. It killed in a sadistic way, calm, patient, efficient. So, what do all these monsters have in common? Back then, survival was about who could run, hide, or bite harder. And here's the truth. Versions of these things are still here. We still have bears, we still have sharks. The planet may look safer now, sidewalks, grocery stores, air conditioning, but that's just an illusion humans built.